Hi everybody. This is actually going to be an update video where obviously you can see we have a giant tank in the place which used to actually be a 20-gallon, but now it's actually a 55. And I'm sure obviously in the beginning of the video you noticed we now have a turtle. It is a red-eared slider turtle. We're thinking he's about 4 years old, but we're not entirely 100% sure yet because he's still a juvenile and he was surrendered by his previous owner. So we're not 100% sure because they didn't quite give an age to how old he was, because he was actually surrendered down in Florida, so that's quite a ways. But he was sent in with some feeder fish, which the guy was breeding, and I guess they weren't quite expecting him to be in the delivery. So either way, when we wanted to pick up the turtle for Father's Day for my husband, obviously that's why we have the giant tank, we ended up getting the turtle, which we still haven't decided on a name yet. We're either thinking of Speedy, Bigfoot, or Larry, which, why Larry? I don't know, but you know, it all works. It's a name. And then eventually tomorrow, since it is Sunday and there is no mail on Sunday, we actually bought a turtle topper for this tank, since none of the pet stores in a 50-mile radius actually had the turtle topper, because apparently turtles aren't super duper popular with the turtle toppers, so they just decided to get rid of them. So we're waiting for that to come in, and so currently, since this was literally the only thing at the pet store that we could get, it was slightly too small, but that was the only size that they had, and we had to have some kind of docking area, so I had to tape it to make it sturdy, because obviously turtles don't like to go on any kind of platform that isn't sturdy. So he was kind of a little too heavy for it to actually support him, so I just kind of gave it a little extra support. And then also in this video is also another update. We're now down to 18 hamsters. And no, it was not Sean, who is still alive and kicking. It was actually Siri, who was once again one of our really young hamsters. Not one of the ones I've bred, but one that I got. And of course was one that I was actually attached to. Go figure. So we have officially figured that the pet store that I've been getting them from, certain ones are not from good stock, and have a heart defect, which is actually very common in hamsters, which that's a reason why a lot of them die prematurely, as long as obviously you're feeding them and all that good stuff. But she died from a heart problem, and that was pretty much it. And I actually didn't realize this till about yesterday, actually, when I was counting all the hamsters up, because I was saying hi to all of them and all that stuff, and noticed that she wasn't there. Of course, it took me a couple times counting and reading all the names, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, Siri isn't here. Where did she go? The container's not even here. So I found out that my wonderful husband actually buried her, so I actually didn't have to deal with the empty container or the horrible thought of seeing yet another dead hamster. So That's always good. Also, a little tip for turtle lovers or people who are planning on getting a turtle. Red-eared sliders are really good turtles, but keep in mind they can also be rather aggressive, so smaller fish are not wise to keep in with them because they do eat fish. And obviously these goldfish are big enough, but what we didn't realize is when we first got him from the pet store, he was actually hungry, and so he started pestering poor Skippy over there. As you can see, his tail has a little bite mark on there because honestly the pet store told us to only feed him about once a day or so. And obviously for, you know, turtles, you know, that's normally good for an adult turtle, which they actually say to feed them about once every other day. But since he's still juvenile, since he was surrendered by his previous owner down in Florida, if you can believe that, who actually sold feeder fish, ended up sending him up here to Minnesota. So that's how we ended up getting him, because he was actually the last turtle. And so yeah. Also, for fun things to do for hamsters, I plan on doing a video on that either next week or the week after. I'm not entirely sure yet because it depends on when I have the energy, because I was planning on doing a an example of things that you can do. Well, examples of things that you can do. But right now it's kind of hard to go outside because it's actually like 90 degrees outside, and some of the hamsters will not enjoy being in 90-degree weather because that's actually very hot for a hamster. So we're trying to wait for that, and so I'm trying to figure out other fun things that you can do that are indoors, which I suppose mazes you can also do indoors. You just have to put like cardboard and stuff down so that if they potty and stuff, you know, it doesn't go everywhere. But we'll talk more about that in the next couple of weeks or so. And for now, that's going to be the end of this video. Toodles, everyone.